Listen, we got some serious news to discuss involving Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one. It don't get no better than this. The Charlotte Hornets have another opportunity to prove that, things are just a little bit different. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, most definitely hit the subscribe button. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports TV. We will be live shortly. So listen, man, the Charlotte Hornets take it on the Orlando Magic at home. This should be a good outing. The Hornets coming off of a L. Also, the Orlando Magic is coming off of a L. So both teams are going to be looking to really do something. It's going to be interesting to see what team imposes their will. The Orlando Magic this season are 1-4. So the Hornets will have a tall task. You're dealing with Paolo. You're dealing with also Desmond Bain. It clearly was a shakeup, so it's going to take some time for Orlando to maybe get right. It might take a month, maybe mid-November to December for the wheels to get twirling. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get the people braced. I got all access in the building decks. What's the deal, man? We got the Orlando Magic. We got the Charlotte Hornets live. Talk to the people.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, voice of the voiceless. The Charlotte Hornets have failed to qualify for the playoffs in 9 straight seasons, Flight. So they're on pace right now to qualify for a 6 seed if they can keep this up. The Hornets are playing 500 basketball. They're kind of buoyancy up and down in their play, and the Hornets defense have been a little shaky in the last 2 games. Flight. Lamelo came off of a triple-double before the loss to Miami, and he was on pace to have his second triple-double, which would be Lamelo's back-to-back triple-double, but he fell with, I believe, 1 rebound and 2 assists, as he had 20 points, 8 assists, and I believe 9 rebounds. The Charlotte Hornets need for Lamelo Ball to thrust himself into the forefront and lead the troops like a true general. The troops also have to be able to fire their musket guns at the said target. They have to come into this game as if this is a war going against the Southeast Conference. Division. We know that the Charlotte Hornets have struggled against the Southeast Conference, and their record are dismal. But this time, I believe the Charlotte is going to come out with a win in Florida, and they will be 1-1 with their trip to Florida this week. Miles Bridges should be ready to go. Brandon Miller is doubtful, and he is seeking a second opinion. Now, that could move to out or it could move to questionable. But I doubt if his status gets any better right now as we speak. But Brandon Miller is trying to find his way to the floor, regardless of what Charlotte Hornets medical staff have laid out for him with his shoulder injury. Charles Lee have a big task ahead of him. He has to stop Paolo Banchero, all-star. He has to stop Franz Wagner, who's on the cusp of being an all-star. And then you have the other Magic that are fighting hard. And they came off of a devastating loss last night, which they thought they had the game won. And unfortunately, one of the top point guards in the league right now, Tyrese Maxey, came in and shut the doors on the Charlotte Hornets. So the Lamelo All-Star campaign continues tonight, Flight, at the Spectrum Center. Now he's inside his own silo. So we should see a lot of fireworks and a lot of razzle-dazzle from Lamelo, because these other guards, because listen, Luka's down, right? There's only really one guard that is a shoe-in for the All-Star, and that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Tyrese Maxey, he's not a shoe-in, but he's playing like an MVP right now. And then when you look over to the West, you got Austin Reeves just showing his ass. It's unbelievable what AR-15 is doing in the absence of Luka and LeBron. So if LaMelo wants to keep his campaign going for All-Star, he have to come out of here with a win, and he have to stuff the stat sheet. So I'm looking for Lamelo to have 28 plus points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. Like,
Right, I agree with you. You brought up guys like Paolo. You brought up guys like Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. These guys really performed well in their last outing. They got beat down by the Detroit Pistons, but that's neither here nor there. The Charlotte Hornets, they have to win this game. I talked to a lot of different people within the YouTube landscape, and I was I almost was ready to declare this was a must win, but a lot of people was telling me pump the brakes. It's not a must win. It's very early in the season. I just forgive me for having so many horror stories, and you see the Charlotte Hornets, the season just crumble right before our very eyes. We've seen that on so many occasions. I just want to get to a point where the Hornets can, sustain themselves. That's what I believe is key for the Charlotte Hornets. And until they're able to do that, it's gonna be problems all around the board. The Hornets got to win, in my humble opinion, just to get some home cooking. It's time to get some wins accumulated at the Spectrum Center, the newly renovated Spectrum Center. The Hornets, I feel like they started on the road, but they started obviously at home against Brooklyn where they won. I want the Hornets to keep winning because these losses can just stockpile. I'm just saying. I feel like I've been here before with Charlotte. They always win the season opener, and people have hope. Oh, it's a new season, it's a new this, and then before you know it, Brandon Miller's out. It's starting to feel like deja vu of last year. Now is a situation we don't know if Miller's coming back. All of these things are tough. This puts pressure on our younger players. I feel like Orlando is a team where, okay, yeah, they only won one, but they looking at Charlotte tonight to really get their swagger back. They looking at Charlotte tonight on the schedule like food. Let me just break the news to the people. So what do the Charlotte Hornets have to do to not be fooled? That's what I truly believe they have to figure out. They cannot afford this loss, in my opinion, because it only gets tougher. Just because I know they got Minnesota this weekend, but that's not a walk in the park even without Anthony Edwards. So I think you establish home court now. I'm telling you, winning mostly all your home games, that can bode very well for you and go a long way. So let's not skip steps, y'all. It's Flight Sports TV. We're gonna be live. Make sure you tune in. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports TV. Salute to everybody in the chat. You already know. Let's get interactive. Peace and love.